Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here with another extravagant few minutes live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. And of course, on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza, and on X at the Real Captain Lou. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you'll get all of our great programming, live and archive, all of our extravagant few minutes episodes, the Extravaganza with yours truly and my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. Of course, you can watch the archive show from last night. I want to thank Mitch for going solo for me. And also, you can watch the ACHA Power Play. Season 10 is going strong. The road to St. Louis 2026 is full steam ahead next March in the national championships. We'll have our next live program on the ACHA Power Play next Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern. We invite you to join us for that. And again, as always, these extravagant few minutes episodes are brought to you by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou for $10 off or $20 off at your purchase. It's that simple. Yeah, if there's a ball game you want to go to this weekend out in Los Angeles, the Lions and the Rams, a big game there. Make sure you use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off your purchase. It is that simple. All right. Shockwaves throughout the college football world, and of course, here in the state of Michigan. Michigan fires Sherrone Moore yesterday, their head coach. It came down late in the afternoon yesterday for inappropriate relations with a staff member. Things got ugly in Ann Arbor. Apparently, the investigation has gone on for a while, and things got ugly afterwards after he found out. He's currently in custody. It's a mess right now at the University of Michigan. And you think about Sherrone Moore and his family and all that. I got to be honest with you. I don't feel sorry for Sherrone Moore. Who I feel sorry for really are his wife, his 3 daughters, and even for the woman that is in the middle of it that, is all a part of this. I think the biggest people that I feel sorry for are his wife and kids. It mystifies me that someone would do something like that. He had everything to gain, nothing to gain, and everything to lose by this whole situation. And, it's obviously I'm not in his position. I just don't understand. My first thought with this is, did he not learn anything from Mel Tucker at Michigan State? What happened to him, how he lost everything. Well, nobody really knows where he's at, and the fallout from that. It just makes you wonder why someone would do that with everything to lose and nothing to gain. And Sherrone Moore did that, and he's lost everything. Lives are shattered because of this. His family life, his kids, his wife, even the young lady that, he had this affair with. I mean, she's being dragged in the mud. Her life is going to be changed forever. It's going to be a long healing process for her, for his family, and even for Sherrone Moore. And, this all puts football at a back burner with something like this. I mean, obviously, it's an embarrassment to the University of Michigan to go through all this, but these lives are what's first and foremost in all this. Michigan will eventually come around on it, but it is definitely a black eye. And both universities, Michigan and Michigan State, they're laughing stocks. Now, Michigan State, I'll give them credit. They're looking, they're making the turnaround. They got a new president, they've got a new AD, and they've hired one heck of a coach. Pat Fitzgerald is going to do amazing work in East Lansing. As a Michigan fan, I'm worried because I think this is like Mark D'Antonio-esque, where I think give them a couple of years and they're going to have the upper hand on Michigan. But one of the other things that you got to take into play here now with Sherrone Moore gone is, what about his players? What about the current players on the team? Now they've got to wait for a brand new coach. Then they get 15 days to decide if they want to enter the transfer portal, or they're going to enter the portal on January 3rd or whatever. What about the incoming class that made their commitment to Sherrone Moore in Michigan? I mean, those are the ones you got to worry about too, along with the family. But these kids are in flux now. This is life altering. It is such a mess at the University of Michigan right now. It really is. It's sad. It really is sad to see all this. And yeah, it's an embarrassment, But you wonder about the kids on the team, the kids that are coming in. I mean, now their lives are in flux, and it really is too bad for all of that. It really it makes me sad for them. It just it I'm upset. I'm pissed off at Sherrone Moore. I'm pissed off at the University of Michigan. If they knew this was going on and they let it drag at all, it just makes you wonder. And that leads me to this. It's like, how does Warde Manuel still have a job as athletic director at the University of Michigan? All that stuff, we've talked about it. All the stuff with Juwan Howard, all the things he gave him chances for. You're taking a swing at other coaches, just being an embarrassment as a head coach. And now you've got this. Is he going to be a scapegoat using this because Michigan wasn't living up to standards? I mean, how does he still have a job as the AD? How is he going to survive this? If Michigan, to me, if they really were serious about cleaning house and changing their image, this is the next person that needs to go. His time is done as AD at Michigan. I just, you can't trust him. Yeah, he's gotten maybe a home run hire in Dusty May, but you know what they say, a blind squirrel finds a nut. He's been an embarrassment for what's going on at the University of Michigan. And if they don't do the right thing by showing him the door as well, then again, I've lost all respect in Michigan, a school that I grew up, watching, rooting for. It really is difficult right now to be a Michigan fan. Even with their basketball team number 2 in the country, their hockey team number 1 in the country, and everything else going good except their football team, even though they were ranked 18th, what's going on off the field is just an absolute joke. And finally, who's realistic to be a head coach at Michigan? They're going to have to do something quickly. You talk about the transfer portal, and it's coming up here in 3 or 4 weeks. And you got to get somebody in there good. You're going to lose a lot of players once that new coach is hired. This has got to be a home run hire, but do they have the time to do it? You hear Kalen DeBoer's name thrown out there, Jed Fish. Those obviously would be dream hires. But again, with Warde Manuel as the AD, would either one of those want to come to Michigan? I know there's a lot of donor money out there that will be thrown around to keep Michigan supposedly as a blue blood up, maybe towards some of the best, the elite, 2 years removed from a national championship. But one has to wonder, who's next? Are they going to be able to get someone decent as the head coach at Michigan? Yeah, not something we really wanted to talk about today, obviously, with Sherrone Moore getting fired. And now you wonder what's next at the University of Michigan. But again, I go back to who I really feel for in this are his family, his daughters. Their lives are shattered, just thrown upside down. I really feel for them. And I also feel for the young lady that was involved with him. I know it takes 2 to tango, and I know that she's a consenting adult, but I do feel for her life is done forever. And a small part of me feels bad for Sherrone Moore. Not a ton, because he knew what he was getting into. He's seen what's been out there at other universities, and yet he still did it. And with nothing to gain and everything to lose, and he's lost it all. And again, Michigan gets another black eye. The state of Michigan, again, going through so much with their head coaches and their football programs. It's an embarrassment. They're a laughing stock. No doubt about it. All right. Well, again, really not what we wanted to talk about. The Lions with a big game coming up this weekend. But, we'll talk about that this weekend. We'll talk more about the college football playoff as it gets closer. But with all this late breaking news at Michigan, it's just, it's crazy. And I don't know if I'm embarrassed to be a Michigan fan. You don't know what to feel. You just don't know what's going to happen next. I sit here and I think, I'm going to go back to this. How does Warde Manuel still have a job as the athletic director? You hear it in the theme song, in the fight song, leaders and best. Well, he certainly is not a leader, and he sure as hell isn't the best. Look what happened with Juwan Howard and everything that went on with that, how much rope he gave him, and now with Sherrone Moore. He hired him. He's got to be held accountable. He's got to go. He is not the leader and he's not the best. It's time for Michigan to really live up to that moniker in their fight song. Champions and the leaders and best, because right now they're not. They're a mockery right now in the world of college football and everywhere. It's time for Michigan to do the right thing. Warde Manuel has got to go. He is not a good fit anymore as the AD at the University of Michigan. It's time for him to go. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of an extravagant few minutes right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Again, want to thank everybody for taking time out to be with us here on the network, welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, however you watch us around the world here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Until next time, Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always,